which is visual. They're all about visuals. They're all about videos. It goes viral. That's it. That's it. They had a sticky story. So let's start talking about feelings, right? Because stories are all about feelings. If I'm telling you a story and I don't make you feel anything, it doesn't matter if it's anger, if it's joy, if it's anxiety. I need to make you feel something. A story needs feelings, right? So, I don't know if you remember, in the earthquake in Mexico City a few months ago, the entire city, the entire country was it was a strong earthquake. About 150 people died, and one of the places that it hit, it was a school, right? It was 1 p.m. The students were there. The school collapsed like this, and I think 18 kids and a teacher died, right? And then there's this girl. You know the story, right? Yes. This girl who's trapped there. The entire media of the country goes bananas, right? Oh my God. You could see the cameras at night, everybody quiet around it, because you need to hear, right? Somebody had heard the girl. She had said, please help me, please help me. The girl had a name. There were memes on social media about the girl. 3 days. And the problem in an earthquake, the longer the time passes, the less likelihood that you are going to. 3 days, an entire country hypnotized. And then somebody said, oh, okay, let's see the school list, because they had a name for the girl, and all the kids were accounted for, and the girl was not on the list. I mean, this is not a subway station where people walk in and out. This is a school. You know who's in the school, especially if it's a kid, right? Yeah. Well, it turns out the girl didn't exist. Everybody turned off their mind for 3 days. The media could do fact-checking and all that. The ministry of, I don't remember which ministry, assured the Mexican people every night that they were doing everything. And the girl didn't exist. And nobody thought until day 3, well, where are the parents of the girl, right? If there's the girl missing, where the hell are the parents, right? And why is she not? So why did that happen? Are all Mexicans stupid? Was there a conspiracy to invent a girl? So let's analyze the story of the girl. So let's just do an analysis of the girl, of the story of the girl. There's a little girl trapped inside her school under tons of concrete, and she asked for help. You tell me, is this story simple? I mean, did I have to explain you that in an earthquake, a girl can get trapped? Check mark. Is this story unexpected? Yes. Oh my God, everybody came out, and then, oh, this girl, right? Is this story emotive? I mean, anything that has to do with little kids is emotive, right? Especially if they're in danger. Is this story concrete? I mean, a little girl, the story is not about a girl abducted by aliens and taken. No, the story is a girl trapped after an earthquake in a school course, right? Is it credible? Can you believe that there's a girl trapped in a school? Well, that's all you need for a sticky story. See, any story that goes viral, any story that you remember, has to have those elements. If the story has all those elements, unfortunately, nobody has been able to crack the viral code, right? But if it doesn't have any of those elements, it will not go viral. So let's talk about another emotive thing. Let's analyze another sticky story with exactly the same criteria that we use, right? So let's use this to see if there was a sticky story there. Make America Great Again. So, is this story simple? Now think, you're a redneck without education, in the middle of. You're. I don't work for you guys. Is this story simple? Simple, right? Make America great again. What? Anybody remembers Hillary's slogan? Oh my God. Well, to get to this slogan, the Trump campaign did 3 interactions, or wherever you, right? 2 were internal, meaning 2 rounds of the slogan. And the third one, they launched it in social media in the channels that their audiences or Russia helped them do that. And they added the word again, right? It was Make America Great. And this is a powerful thing. Again is a nostalgia, right? Hillary had 87 interactions. Better together, better, no. Nobody remembers it because they didn't have a story from the first place. And she had a better story to tell. I think, right? No partisan. Some people say she had a better story to tell, right? So is this simple? Yes. Is this unexpected? Emotive. Again, think of this one. Forget about the other 3. Again, right? That's it. The spice there, right? Is it concrete? I mean, is it credible? Not, remember, for their voters, right? You have a sticky story. That sticky story created empathy for the people who needed to vote for that candidate, right? So let's talk about empathy. And I'm going to send you, they are going to have the copy of this presentation. And at the end, the last page has references for books that you can read or articles. Okay? So let's analyze a company, a startup in Silicon Valley, started in 2008 or 2009 that for about 5 years did okay. And then boom, right? So they were doing okay. They were growing. Investors were investing. And one day they said, okay, let's redo our mission and vision thing because nobody knows it. Not even the CEO can say it by memory. So let's do an exercise. And they did an internal exercise. Let's answer 3 questions. Why do we exist? Number 1. And this is it's not a nonprofit, it's a company. What is our purpose? And what is our role in the world? If we can answer these questions in a very, very small statement, that will be our mission statement, right? So they did. And this is their mission statement. Okay? So before I tell you who that company is, let me show you how they actually took it seriously. Took that seriously. These are their conference rooms. So this is one of their conference rooms. This is another one of their conference rooms. Here's another conference room in their different offices. Do you know who they are? Yeah. Where? Airbnb. Every conference room is modeled after a real Airbnb, right? So their slogan was that before. A new way to travel. Oh, is it a car? Is it a train? Is it a plane? Is it a hotel? Is it a drug? That's a new one. I'm going to add this to the next one, right? So imagine if you go a new way to travel, and here's my emoji for that. Oops, there. And after this exercise, it was when they found our mission is we belong. I belong. That's my mission statement. When you have the story in such a small statement, everything is easy. Here is how a new way to travel evolved into the current slogan. See? This tells a story. Live there. It's Airbnb, of course. genius, but this genius wouldn't have been there if they hadn't said, let's throw to the trash whatever mission and vision we have, because nobody even knows what it is, not even us, and do that first, and then they arrive here. That is a sticky story, right? So we saw you need empathy. Feelings create empathy. There are very simple, those 6 elements that every story needs to have, including a PowerPoint presentation, guys. But there's one more thing. A sticky story needs to take you through a journey, right? For example, I am taking you through a journey from a hyped description that I wrote for this workshop into curiosity, into hopefully ecstasies after you see my presentation. It is a journey. I started the journey with news from 3 days ago, the McDonald's sign, right? To make you feel that I did this for you. That this is not, oh, another talk. Let's look of one talk and just change the title. No, right? I prepared a journey for you. Every story has to take, even if it's a press release, every story has to take you through a journey. Remember, this is all about stories. Writing is about stories. So before you write anything, if you see it as a journey, you could even map the journey, right? Okay, I'm selling, I'm asking for money. Well, what's the pain? What's a painkiller? What do you need to give me money? Whatever, right? Just map it before you even start. Look at this mission statement. What the hell do you think anybody in the company, any single person in that company memorized that, including the CEO? As a result, consumers will reward us with leadership. OMG, what century do you think we are, right? So that's my second emoji award, which, now I'm, same thing, right? And here's where movies come handy. When you write a screenplay and you're selling it in Hollywood, these people have very little time span, just like this is here. So you need to give them an analogy or a story that they can say, yes, tell me more. So here are a few examples and you tell me the movie, okay? This is the way they sold it. The writer sold it to the producer or director, whoever goes to the next step, right? Whoever gives you the money. What movie is that? Alien. Oh, imagine the panic that just caused in the audience, now in space. The rest is easy, right? Just invent that feeling in space. So put this crew with a monster, whatever, right? Here's another one. Groundhog Day. Look at this world. I have never seen it before. Oh my God. Words have power, right? Here's the last one. Yes, see? There is a journey. There is a journey, even if it's 2 words or 3 words. Here is a journey. And this is a mission statement of a nonprofit here in the Bay Area. You tell me who they are. That's the entire mission statement. The Cal Academy. You remember that they closed the building for 3 or 4 years and the staff had nothing to do? Well, they went into, one of the things they did is, okay, let's redo the whole thing. Every single decision has to fit here. It's either explore, help you explain, or help you sustain. That's it. That's their mission statement. Now, if you want a company aligned around your mission, don't give them more than that because nobody's going to remember what the mission is. But if everybody can memorize this, then when I am hiring, right, I'm either going to hire an explorer, a good teacher for anything, or somebody that really cares about the environment, right? When I see if we do a new exhibit, it has to pass through this filter because this is our story. Because the whole thing is, what happens if you stop taking your vitamins today? Nothing. Vitamins, right? For a month, nothing. For a year, nothing. What happens if you woke up with a big headache and you don't take something, right? You will remember your pain all the day, right? You want a painkiller, not a vitamin. This is a nice to have. And when people are looking at their pile of money to give it to people, I'm not going to give it to nice to haves. I'm going to give it to painkillers. That's the filter that VCs use. Is your solution, is your business model a painkiller, right? Because if it's a nice to have, it's too risky. Is your mission as a non-profit a painkiller? Is it just a nice to have, right? Because you might be killing a painkiller with a vitamin story. See? You might have an amazing cause. I actually was in Norway about 6 months ago, coaching a group of startups in an incubator, right? So they would come and give me their 2-minute pitch, and I would give them input. So these two guys, a cook and a chemist, partnered together, and they come to me and they said they could not use slides, nothing. Just give me your 2 minutes. We're on an elevator. Yeah. Give me your elevator pitch. Which actually is a bad term, elevator pitch, because in an elevator, everything is calm. It's really you're crossing, jaywalking in a highway and giving the elevator pitch to the next person, right? That's really the elevator pitch. You're never, oh yeah, I have all your attention. The guy is texting and all that, right? So these guys tell me, I don't remember exactly what they said, but we have a solution so that chefs can have fresh produce all year round. Oh, cool. What's about it? The guys had invented, physicist or chemist and a cook, containers with a specific wavelength of light, because plants don't need all the wavelengths of the sun, just some of it. So a solar panel here and connected to the electric grid, a container full of drawers where you could plant vegetables, organic, whatever. So hundreds, thousands of drawers in a container with the specific light of the sun, and obviously everything controlled. So you could have tomatoes as good as Italian tomatoes in the summer, in the middle of the winter, in Greenland. Did they sell me that idea well? I mean, this is a world changer. Imagine a disaster area, right? Imagine there's a IT, right? When they had you put that on Puerto Rico, who lost power for still, right? You put this and you feed people. Guys, you're changing the world, and you tell me that this is for restaurants to have fresh products? I mean, yes, you can put this in the middle of, one of those cities in the winter and supply all the restaurants. But that's nice to have, right? That's how you can kill a painkiller product with a vitamin story. You don't want that. And hopefully this. So let me tell you a story that changed all our lives and all the lives around everybody in the world, that was done by somebody who understood this. Probably somebody who didn't know, but intuitively knew what a sticky story would be. 1957. This is the cover of Time magazine. October 1957. So in those days, families saved for months to buy a radio or a TV or a washing machine, right? And if you were carrying your TV and you drop it a foot, it would break. You would send it to the repairman. You would wait a month. Hopefully, they don't close the shop and disappear with your TV. And you pay a fortune and you have your TV back, right? Appliances used to be, you used to need to get repaired, and So there was a big business, right? The era of the repairman for all these new electronics that are coming out. Expensive electronics, but very fragile electronics. So there was a group of 8 people here in Mountain View who had come from the East Coast, hired by a Nobel Prize winner who had to bring from the East Coast his mom here because she needed to live in fair weather, and he was a scientist at Bell Labs who invented the transistor. So he brought the best minds from the East Coast. So he brings these guys to Silicon Valley, and you know many of these guys. Some of them are still alive. He brings them to Silicon Valley. They move their families in the middle of the, in the summer. They come here, they start working for this guy, and they find out that this guy is impossible to work with. And they resigned in one day. This is 1958. In one day, all of them went to his office and said, we're done. But, the kids are already in school. And there was nothing here. This is 1957. HP, Stanford, that's it. There's nothing else here. So, the kids are already in school. We already moved the families. We have to wait until the end of the school year. Let's get together and have, let's see if we invent something. So they had an idea. They invent something. 2 of them had already won Nobel Prizes in physics. So, this was not, venture capital was not invented. So you could not have a 23-year-old with no credit history or no assets giving you a piece of napkin with a great idea and giving them $5 million to burn. Actually, 2 of them invented the venture capital industry, 2 of these guys. But there's a guy in the Valley that has a company called Fairchild Electronics, Sherman Fairchild, and he did the transistors and all these things that went into the washing machines and the TVs and the radios of the day, right? So they call his secretary, and they convince his secretary to give them a meeting, right? And she says, but Mr. Fairchild only does 30-minute meetings. And this is true, huh? 30-minute meetings. So yeah, you have 30 minutes. There's no PowerPoints. There's nothing like that. So these guys said, okay, we are going to go in and we need to shock him because we only have 30 minutes. If we convince him of giving us 5 hours after 30 minutes, another day, we made it, right? So they go in with one story, one sticky story in 2 words. And actually, we know this because this guy, the night that they went to pitch him, told that to his wife. It's like, these kids came, they're from the East Coast, they live here, they hate their boss, and they told me, here's a story that changed all of our lives. What does it tell you? What does the word disposable do to the word appliances? What does it mean about the appliance? Is the appliance cheap or expensive? Cheap, right? So the guy is doing the electronics for appliances, and these guys come and say, oh, we're going to make them disposable, right? There's 2 Nobel Prizes in this group. Okay, come back. Disposable appliances means, here's in 2 words. Transistors were made out of a thing called Mesa transistor. That was the way to do transistors. They were based on an element called germanium. And it sounds weird. It sounds expensive. It sounds like you find it in the moon, right? It was not in the moon, but it was expensive. It's a rare element, and it was extremely fragile. So that's why when you drop your TV 1 foot, the TV would break, right? 1958. In 1 year, so they said, we are going to create a different way of manufacturing transistors based on silicon. Do you know where silicon comes from? Sand. I mean, who doesn't have sand? Even Bolivia, who doesn't have an ocean, has sand. Silicon is extremely available everywhere. It's cheap, and it's very, very sturdy. That's why if you throw your iPhone to the wall, the glass will break, but the iPhone will continue working. The only way to break this is to soak it in water. That's it, right? 1 year, Hewlett-Packard they were opening a $40 million, this is 1958 or 1959, they were opening a $40 million plant to manufacture transistors based on this. They never opened it. It became obsolete. 1 year. 2 years later, this same group of people invent the integrated circuit and change all of our lives, right? So this guy creates virtual semiconductors for them within his own company. Disney gives them their first contract for Fantasia. The Department of Defense gives them a huge contract because this is the era of Sputnik, and you needed sturdy electronics that could withstand the vibration of rockets when they go up. Intel, the company becomes Intel, and two of them form the first venture capital firm, Kleiner Perkins, who's still there. So in that picture is the Kleiner Perkins guys, Gordon Moore. That picture has, right? Not only that, within the first few years, all these companies start spawning. And that's not all. All these companies, these are the ticker symbols of the companies that have direct money from them. Everybody's there. 2 words, half an hour to convince a very busy executive to give you money. Disposable appliances. That's absolutely brilliant. They didn't show him a white paper saying silicon is better than germanium because blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, here's the insight. And then we will go to the workshop very soon. Did you choose a word? Good. Do you know what these words are? Anybody? These words are the 12 human archetypes. There's only 12 ways to be human. There's only 12 ways to tell stories. Each of us has a dominant archetype. And maybe the one you chose is the one you want to be, not the one you are. It doesn't matter, right? Every single brand knows that. Every single politician that does well, his agency knows this. This is, Carl Jung came up with them, and nobody has been able to add a single one to them. So you can be, and they're not good or bad. They're just different ways of being human. There are different ways of creating empathy. See, if I am a hospital, I might choose to be a caregiver, right? If I am a politician, I might choose this, or I might choose this. If I am Coca-Cola, I might choose this because I believe in world peace and everybody's happy. And if I'm Pepsi, I might choose to be a clown and entertain you. So when, for example, Coca-Cola is thinking about what to sponsor, they usually sponsor the Olympic Games, the World Cup, things that bring you together. When Pepsi sponsors something, it's music and things that make you go like this, right? You even see it in their products. Every single story that sticks is based on one archetype. Every single character in a movie that you like, that you remember, has an archetype. So Yoda is a champion, but he's also a sage, right? Actually, Yoda is more the sage, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, that's why I brought my thing, is a champion, right? There's completely different ways to express an archetype. So, for example, here are 3 people that share the same archetype. Here's the rebel CEO. This is Richard Branson, right? He's absolutely crazy, right? And one day, why not, right? Let's surprise our guests. The Virgin calls you a guest, not a passenger, right? Rebel CEO. Here's a rebel fighter. Here's a rebel princess. See? Rebel, 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 expressed completely different. That's why there are only 12 ways of being human, because you can express one archetype in a completely different way. A completely different way. See? You would never say, what does Che Guevara and Princess Diana and Richard Branson have in common? Absolutely nothing, right? Well, they have the same archetype, actually. Exactly the same archetype. And they knew it. And every action each of them did was consistently on archetype. What would happen if suddenly we see a tweet from Donald Trump saying, oh my God, such a beautiful day. It's all love around this country. I just feel I want to give everything to the world. He would be off character. See? He knows. He's a very good marketing guy. He knows that he has an archetype, he has a style, he stays on style. See? If you don't stay on character, if you are an organization and write a PR release in one way, and your site is in a completely different way and reflects a different story, and your mission statement nobody even knows because it tells nothing, and the people you hire are completely off, you're not telling a story, see? Do you know this is a Formula One car? In the last Formula One race, you know, this is the pits. So the cars come in, the 4 tires are changed, and the oil are changed, okay? How much time do you think the average car in the last race stayed in the pit? 3 seconds.
What? 3 seconds what?
The whole thing. Because this guy knows that it's bolt number 3, number 4. This guy knows that he needs to hand it. See? This guy knows that he needs to drive. See, everybody knows. In an organization, when everybody knows, win, 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 win. In order to win, I need to drive fast. In order to win, I need to untie bolt number 1 and number 3. In order to win, I need to hand the tire to this guy in 1.2 seconds. See? Win, win. Everybody knows that the car needs to win the race. That's the mission of the car. Or whatever, yeah? See? That's a sticky story. The thing is, feelings translate into empathy. And now we're going to have the workshop. So I didn't expect such a big audience, so we're going to divide you in teams, which is great. We're going to divide you in teams. And it's very simple, right? I'm going to have you do 3 things, right? So if you can divide every table 2 teams and you can stand up and all that, we're going to start the workshop very simple. Very, very simple. So every table 2 teams, whoever you are next to you, and we are going to progress a message. First, we're going to invent something, and then we're going to create the message for that using some of these principles, okay? So before I tell you, we need...
Juan Carlos, just have those tables, flip their chairs, maybe? Just to the one?
Yeah, just move, actually.
Or flip the chairs, right?
3 minutes, or no, 1 minute, no. This car spends 3 seconds, 10 seconds to move in teams, and then I start. Go ahead, guys. Yeah, or like this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Ready? Wow. See? Okay. So here's what we are going to do. I need words. Oops. It works. That's $50 you just saved, guys. I need words. Any word, random words. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. 7 teams. We need 14 words. Any word. So give me words. 14 words.
Tricycle.
Tricycle.
Sand.
Wait. Sand. More.
Move.
Move. M-O-V-E. Bathroom. You said bathroom? Somebody said bathroom? No, sorry. What am I thinking? I'll be back. Power. Any random words. It can be anything.
Love.
Wait.
Love.
Circle.
Love.
Watershed.
Huh?
Line. Time. Flower. Water.
Wait, flour? Wait, water? Tacos? Universe. That's a big word.
Fun.
Fun?
People.
Fun.
People.
Huh?
People.
People.
Kindness.
Family.
Perfect. Family? And I think that we have 14? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. Okay. You guys choose one word from the first column, the first team, and one word from the second column, and tell it to me, and write it down. Choose one word here.
Yes.
Give me
Time.
time
And fun.
and fun. That's your 2 words, okay?
Okay.
You guys are going to be the last. Huh? Love tacos. Okay. Love tacos. Water? Water? Huh? Power. Those are your 2 words. You guys. Move. People. You. Huh? Jesus Christ. I'm going to leave it here and just talk. Tricycle. Tricycle family. The middle one. Flower. Universe. Choose 2 words. Your words are. So, you have 3 minutes. Pay attention. 3 minutes only. This is like a hackathon. And this is only the first step. So they're enjoying it. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is when you get your money back, right? You have 3 minutes. Use your 2 words. Your 2 words are your non-profit business. Invent a non-profit that has a big cost around those 2 words. That's your non-profit. Yeah, so 3 minutes and then you will tell us in 1 sentence what your non-profit is. You're inventing a non-profit around the words you chose. 3 minutes only. No, just the non-profit. Invent the business. Don't tell the story. Just tell me what the non-profit is. Don't tell the story. Forget about what's me. Just tell me what your non-profit is based on the words. What do you do? What do you do?
The first step is just create such as the idea. There's a non-profit and the non-profit. You know.
Don't wordsmith. Just come up with the business idea for the non-profit.
Why is there power when there's why is there representation of what is left and there's life that is so much
So what is your cost? That's what we want to get right now. And if you are ready, just tell me and we take the next time. No words, me. Just tell me your idea. What is this? That's all. We will do everything. One more minute, guys. 1 minute. 1 minute. Who cares? Just invent whatever around those words. It can be crazy. It doesn't need to be rational. It doesn't need to be rational for this exercise. We're not competing against who has the best cost. 45 seconds, guys. Ready? Ready? Everybody ready? Okay. So let's hear from these guys. What do you guys do? You want to stand up and tell me? Just very quickly. What are your words? What are your words? And what do you do, guys?
Create sandboxes where kids learn kindness.
Okay, so these guys create sandboxes where kids learn kindness. Okay, hold on to that. You guys.
It's Flower Universe.
Wait, do you guys hear?
Flower Universe, our nonprofit, focuses on planting flowers in convalescent homes and jails where there is no hope. So our 2 words is beautiful place.
Perfect. But that's later in the exercise, okay? Write your definition on a post-it because I want you to be brief. So you don't forget it, okay? You guys.
So our words were tricycle and family.
Yeah.
And we could say our mission statement would be self-driving technology for the future.
Okay, perfect. You guys?
Oh, I thought we just needed to create a nonprofit.
Yeah, what's your nonprofit?
Okay, it's a dancing lesson for the elderly, so it's the name just moves people.
Okay, we don't need to get there yet. It's just we already made the nonprofits. You guys? Am I skipping somebody?
No.
Yes. Okay. Here.
Access to water is power.
Perfect. And what do you do?
We empower the community to access water.
Okay.
I work for time and fun, and we envision time spent by youth in juvenile detention programs creating computer games for fun.
Wow.
Okay, our 2 words are love tacos.
Can you hear them?
No, okay, love tacos, that's our 2 words, and we are a nonprofit that focuses on Latino culinary training.
Wow. See, out of random words, in 3 minutes, you invented a business. That's check mark number 1, guys. Good for you. Now, you have 1 minute. What is at stake? What is at stake? If you didn't exist as a non-profit, what happens to the community? 1 minute. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
It's the water.
And write it down, guys. Let's write down what's at stake.
Wrote it down.
1.5 more minutes, guys. You got it?
Yes.
You got it? You have it? 42 more seconds. Use your post-its, guys, because you will need that information for the next step. See, we're taking communication step by step. Okay, next one. You don't have to stand up to tell anybody. The next one is answer this question. Choose the archetype that will best fit you to deliver a solution for what is at stake. Choose your archetype. You can choose 1 or 2 archetypes for your nonprofit. How will you best deliver this? Are you going to do it in a rebellious way? Is it something technology that looks magical? Are you so choose the archetype. Don't worry about the definitions. Actually, There's some different definitions here. These are better. So use these ones. It's kind of the same, but I every man is a neighbor, for example. So choose the archetype. You need to be a ruler for that, a sage, a champion. Choose your archetype. 1 minute. Remember, there's no good or bad archetypes. There are the archetypes that best fit you to deliver your mission, right? Are they couplers here?
I was thinking more like the rebel part of it because in order to like convince and